Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another special comic artist spotlight. This evening we've got Davi Go, who is represented by Next Comic Art, and Jiggy Cruz, and we've done a few shows with Jiggy and his team in the past. As you know, we always have a good time with them. Tonight we'll be talking with Davi about his start in both illustration and comics, and we'll show some artwork for sale and have a good show like we always do here. So I'm not going to keep them waiting in the green room any longer. I see that we've got plenty of people already hanging out in the chat. Even Jiggy's sending chats out there early today. So let's get Jiggy and Davi in the chat. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Bill. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's Mondays are reserved for special events really on the channel. So this is a special event for me. I don't get to chat with collectors and artists as often as I really want to. So talking with creators and getting to hang out with Jiggy is always a pleasure. So I'm glad to have you on, Davi. Nice to meet you tonight.
I'm really happy to be here. I'm so excited. You have no idea, and I have to admit I'm a little nervous.
Well, nothing to be nervous about. That none of the collectors in the chat bite. Everybody they're here because we love the hobby, and we really enjoy getting to chat with collectors, with the artists as well, and getting to meet new creators that we haven't had the opportunity to talk with before. And I see we got a ton of people already in the chat. Marcus, as always, Jeff, and Mikhail's out there. Kavi. I mean, we've got
familiar names, Bill.
Yes, and David. I could name them all. But very nice to have everybody in there. Mr. Rejek is always out there cheering everybody on to put likes on the channel just to keep us moving. So Davi, we're here just so we can initially talk about your career and how you got started. So I mean, for one thing though, you and I are in the same time zone, which I wasn't aware of until we just started the show. And Jiggy's the one who's waking up early and hasn't had his coffee yet.
Jiggy's a real trooper.
You're working on it, but all right, Davi. So take it away. Like your start in comics and as an illustrator. Where did that passion begin, and what was your first really big break?
So I think my passion for comics started back in my high school days. I ended up with a group of friends that were a bunch of nerds, and I didn't get it at first. I was like, this is so silly. Like, what is this storytelling with pictures and words? I thought it was the silliest thing. And then I was always an artist, always drew, always loved to draw. And I thought, I like telling stories. I'm kind of an entertainer at heart. But I can't make movies yet. And I really want to make movies. So what's the next best thing? And so I started just kind of naturally drawing my own little comics. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. And I think that's where it started in terms of my love for comics. My first big break, I think that might have been with Marvel. My memory is a little fuzzy, correct me if I'm wrong, but Marvel actually reached out to me about 5 or so years ago. And I was like, what? That is insane. I had a completely different vision for my life and where it would go and how I'd have to get to the point of doing covers. I thought I'd have to do just a completely different path to getting to that point. And I was so honored and so humbled. And I actually screamed when I saw the email. But I didn't feel like I was ready. I was like, you're insane. Like, thank you. I'm flattered, but I'm not there yet. And so I put it off for a while. And then when I worked on my portfolio, tried to make sure I was getting that Marvel look, if you could say so. And when I felt like I was ready, I reached back out. And I think that's when I did that Magic cover with the sword and the like cracked red background. And that was a big thing for me. I was so psyched to do that.
That's fantastic. So you actually kind of put them off when you first got contacted by them.
Yeah, I was like, nah, dude, I'm not ready. Like, this is too big. I didn't expect to achieve this goal in my life so quickly. And I thought, like, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to embarrass myself. Let me prepare myself. I like to feel prepared. I like to know that I'm an expert in any room that I enter. So like, let me become the expert and get back to you. And so I did that.
And they were welcoming when you were ready, right? I mean, that's great.
They were so sweet and so kind and so good to me. My mind is blown, especially growing up and hearing kind of some horror stories a lot of the time about how artists get exploited in industries like these, and how hard it is to make it in industries like these, you can be apprehensive. It's kind of scary going into that. And then to get just this huge surprise that these people are so kind, so warm, so understanding, so supportive, so sweet. I really couldn't ask for anything better.
No, that's great. So how much work? Well, I guess for Jiggy, this is a question for you: is when did you first become aware of Davi? And did you seem to always buy artwork early on when you find it? You meet an artist that you like. That's usually a starting.
I don't
point.
want to give my strategy for buying art, Bill, but I'll just say that I came across Davi's art online, and I had to look for his name if any of the art was sale. And I think this is the first image. It's the Black Widow variant cover from Marvel. So it's this one. I saw it online, and I had to contact Davi immediately because I fell in love with the piece. I love the colors, and so my first question was, "Is this artwork traditional?" I was afraid it might have been digital, and then Davi replied immediately saying, "Oh, it's for sale and it's traditional with colored pencils." I said, "I'll take it," and Davi shipped it immediately. He fell in love with the art, and it's how I got to know him.
That's great. Now, Davi, were you promoting your art sales at the time when Jiggy reached out to you, or were you just did you have just an artist presence out there? Were you just kind of promoting the work that you were doing, or so it was a real cold call from Jiggy, I imagine.
Yeah, more like the latter. I was definitely just kind of working and putting my work out there and just being visible. And Jiggy reached out, and it's just kind of been magic ever since.
That's great. Well, I mean, it's this piece is really, really beautiful, and I can tell why Jiggy was enthralled by it. I mean, and it's just nice. The colors are great. It's not a medium that a lot of traditional comic artists would probably would tackle. I mean, it just by nature of the colored pencils and whatnot. But it's a really great approach that I'm not used to seeing, and so I love it. I think it's wonderful that this is your medium of choice. I really do.
I appreciate that, and I think I'm
It's
a little
really unique. You don't see it very often.
It's true. It's true. And even Mark suggests we should do an episode on Jiggy's art collection sometime. So.
No, Mark.
So we'll have to think about that. But it is, that's what that's something that is nice about discovering new creators, and just to understand your process and what was the desire, what's your, why are you so focused on using the colored pencils? Is it just, has it always been a medium of choice? Is it something that you wanted to be able to have more control over what the finished product of your artwork looked like versus doing something in pen or pencil only? I mean, what's your why creatively did you want to go that route?
You want to know a secret? I just kind of fell into pencils. So naturally, like most people, when you first learn to draw, it's usually with a pencil or a crayon or something like that. And when I first realized I had a knack for drawing, it was with pencils. And so I was just doing that for a long time. Mm-hmm. Then I got to art class in high school, and I started learning about cross-hatching, and I started doing that. And I was getting like a really positive response. Like, people were loving it. It was like so unique, and people were like, so cool. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And so I kind of stuck with it. I tried painting, I tried other mediums, and I just, they weren't sticking to my brain the way pencil had already done. So I'm like, okay, I'm already doing this really proficiently. Let me just focus on this, hyper focus on this, and really take it to the next level. And so I think I just kind of stayed in my lane, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Have you experimented with other?
Davi, Bill, sorry.
Sure, no, go ahead.
Did your classmates in high school like always, hey, can you draw this for me? And were people like that since you were so good in drawing?
Absolutely. I had an awful time with people trying to use me for art, anything even remotely related to being creative. My name was always first, and it was annoying, but I learned to navigate my way through that and kind of make it work for me after a while.
Well, did you have to like draw for the school newspaper and things like that?
I literally had to do that one time. They made me draw the whole school, the
What?
actual school building. And like the school has like murals on the wall and plants everywhere. And I had to draw all of that for some newspaper that nobody read. It was ridiculous.
Oh,
I wonder
that's
who
the
has the
problem with being a good
original.
artist. Well, hopefully you got to keep the original, but recently I did a lot of drawing for my school newspaper as well. And my mom gave me back all those old illustrations recently, and yeah, that's not something I like to look back on, but they're funny. That's I look at them as an interesting time period for me. So Davi, I could only imagine what it must have been like for you too. I mean, that's when you're a good creator, everybody wants you to do something for them, especially at that time. So cool. That's really. But so have you experimented with other mediums, or pencil? The graphite is really where at the end of the day you feel most comfortable with, and but do you think you might ever do anything with traditional pen and ink or paints, or is like you say, this is the path really for you right now?
Right. I have experimented. I tried painting with like acrylics. I've tried oil. I hate oil. But I've tried painting. I can even sculpt with like clay, and that's pretty cool. I enjoy doing that, but I haven't done it in years. Um, and I've tried other mediums, and I'm open to trying other mediums. Right now, I'm kind of focusing on mastering digital painting. But aside from that, I think I'm just gonna kind of stick to the pencil for the most part. Aside from leaning into digital.
All right. Well, it's again, it's your strong point, that's for sure. So, and that's not something easily emulated digitally, at least it could be, I guess. But I mean, you just do it so well traditionally that as far as the
Yeah.
colored pencils goes, I would stick with that. But yeah, that's great. So after the first break, technically, where you accepted it and went back to them, I mean, what's been, what were those first couple of years like, just really getting your feet wet with doing work for publishers?
It was amazing. It was honestly overwhelming. Um, and there was a lot of different things happening at once, like all these amazing opportunities, all these great offers, and just a lot of warm, loving embrace from this community and industry. And it was exciting and just this new adventure. And then a lot of ups and downs were happening at the same time. And so I think it was quite a journey to summarize, I'd say. But overall, I really wouldn't change it for the world. Just such an incredible journey to have been on so far.
Well, it's tough to realize your dreams, at a young age and get good opportunities. And clearly, you've been, really blessed and very fortunate for that. I mean, I congratulate you. It takes a lot of people sometimes, much longer than it's taken you. So my hat's off to you for that, Davi. That's so fantastic. So, and tell everybody where you're from. We should have probably even started there. I mean, where you're at today, even though you and I are in the same time zone.
Right. I am from Jamaica, a little island in like the middle of the Caribbean. You may know us for Bob Marley and marijuana and and reggae music and jerk chicken and beaches, beautiful beaches and beautiful nature and beautiful people.
Wow.
Oh, and Usain Bolt.
There you go. That yeah, he's well known. But no, I'm envious because I live in a colder climate. But so that's wonderful that where you're at. And I'm sure you ever have you traveled to the States? Have you met with any of the publishers directly, or is all the work that you've done always been via email or phone calls?
Always been email. I have actually never left Jamaica, believe it or not.
Do you hope to get to some cons or anything in the future?
I think that would be super cool. It's actually another one of my little dreams to get to go to a convention and meet all the supporters and followers and clients in person, because like talking to these people online and via email, like everybody is so sweet and so warm and so passionate. Like hearing these people talk about their passions and their love for these characters and these stories and everything, and sharing that with you and being able to like give back to that through sharing your vision and your talent and your skill is such a beautiful thing. I can only imagine how much more beautiful that would be in person. So I'd be really, really excited to try that in person one day.
Well, it would be, they're a lot of fun, as you might imagine. And Jiggy can attest to that. Jiggy will need to start setting up at some shows himself sometime soon, and then it would
Sometime
be even,
soon.
yeah, maybe maybe later this year, 2023. You never know. But so why don't we look at it? Yeah, another piece of art. Is that a good
Or
place
should
to
we kick off
start?
the sale, Bill?
Oh, well, we could do that too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why don't we? So, if anyone is not familiar with the sales that we've done in the past with Jiggy, the claims will happen in the chat. Typically, when we've done any emailed things, it's usually been with commissions, right, Jiggy? So, all the claims will happen in the chat today. Or the 6 lots that we have to show, there'll be a lot number for each. The lot number will be on the artwork, just like everybody's used to from the other shows that we've done. So, it'll list the lot number and the art description and have a price on it. So you just need to say claim lot 1 and or claim 1. I'm fine with that as long as we know which piece you're claiming, because obviously you can claim a piece after. If a piece, say we show lot 1 and we end up getting to lot 2, lot 1 hasn't sold, and somebody wants to come back and claim lot 1, you can do that. Just keep in mind which pieces have sold or haven't, and it's okay to claim them at the end as well when we do the recap. So just we've done these numerous times, and the only thing I wanted to put up in front of everybody as a reminder is that the artwork does ship from the Philippines, which is where Jiggy's located, and it's a flat $50 rate for
Yes.
yes, and after the show, if you claimed any artwork, you need to email Jiggy at nextcomicart@gmail.com. Give him the lot numbers that you picked up, and also get him your mailing information so we can get everything set up and get an invoice out to you properly, which he'll do right away since it's morning there.
Yep.
So don't delay. If you get any artwork today, always get the emails out before you go to bed so Jiggy can take care of it, get the artwork out to you right away. So sure, we can start with the first artwork we've got here, and a couple pieces are new, and some pieces that we're showing today have been out there before, but are priced at a nice sale price, right? So that's kind of the way we're approaching tonight's show. So I'll go ahead and show the first lot, and that was the Tifa Lockhart piece. Then it's on A4, and it's $300, 8.5 by 11, of course. And it's a beautiful piece. I love, you put as much work in the background character as in the foreground. I really love this, Davi.
I appreciate that. It was a super fun time doing this one. Tifa is one of those characters, I think, that it just makes sense for me to draw. But for some reason, I've never drawn her before, and I was like, no, this has to happen, and this is the perfect time for it. And so here we are.
Yeah, I was telling Davi that one of the most requested characters at Next Comic Art has been Tifa Lockhart. There are so many Tifa fans out there. I think they're probably on their Valentine's dates now, Bill.
Oh, that's true. I kind of forgot. I did not do anything for Maureen today. I didn't even say Happy Valentine's Day. Well, but yeah, that's possible. But but yeah, this is a fantastic piece, and again, it's an exemplary of your style, Davi.
I appreciate that.
And as Mr. Redjack, I always like to read the comments. So the colors and shading are better than any pencils and inks. I would agree on that one, Mr. Redjack. So yeah, fantastic piece. And as everybody knows, we'll recap everything that doesn't sell at the end. If you want to claim it anytime, go ahead and just make a note of lot 1 at $300. And I will go ahead and come back over to here. So yeah, I would imagine you get because I know, Jiggy, through Next Comic Art, you do a lot of commissions with the creators too. So that is a popular character out there today.
Tifa's a popular character.
Yeah, and everybody's telling me I'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. Nah, Maureen didn't say Happy Valentine's Day to me either. That's probably why I didn't remember to say it to her. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes around here. So why don't we look at some more artwork though?
Yep.
Because I know we've got a few other pieces here that we wanted to talk about. That was the one we were just looking at, and then we've got this another beautiful piece, kind of the same use of color behind the character to bring it out. I mean, it helps the character pop. Although this one's more of a kind of a tonal piece. I think it's again absolutely beautiful, nice death image. And was this was this a commission, Davi, or was this a piece that you did for someone specific?
Yeah, this one was a commission, and it may be one of my very favorite drawings I've ever done. What was special about this one was that when I sent the preliminary sketch, I did like the usual kind of shaggy death hair. It's kind of spiky, kind of messy, if you could say so.
Mhm.
And the customer was like, "No, I want her glamorous. I want her L'Oreal. I want her
Nice.
silky smooth bundles. Like we want her fabulous." And I'm like, fabulous, because I love doing glamour. I love doing like high fashion, like very hyper feminine looks. And so I was really excited to try a different approach to death. And so I think this one is really special for that reason.
No, it's lovely. That's funny because you're right. Most people, when they would want the character death, would want them to look a certain way, and so this is a nice take. Definitely different than what normally you would see. Certainly, if anybody did a search on comic art fans for death commissions, they'd see a lot more. It would be a bit of more of a darker image
Yeah.
than this one. So this is a
A
very different
glamorous
portrayal.
one.
Yeah, and as Halbert mentioned, it is beautiful. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
And yep, Brian said certainly nailed the glamour. You've got that right. And Jeffrey was asking, will all the pieces be colored this evening? Well, the artworks that we're looking at are, they're all colored, and also all the pieces that are available for sale are colored as well. That was a good question, Jeff. That probably was something I should have said right from the beginning. And yep, I agree, West as well. Beautiful death. So yeah, no, this is great. So do you do a lot of, I mean, I would assume since you've been working with Jiggy and maybe even before that, Davi, you've done a lot of commission work for collectors. Is that, is it a good thing to fill your day in between doing work for publishers?
Right. Yeah, that's actually how I started, I would say. I think that's how I kind of got my name out there and got like kind of a footing in the community and in the industry, was doing work for the fans and doing work for the collectors. And I still love doing that to this day. I think I enjoy that maybe the most because, again, the passion from the fans, the love, the warmth, the excitement, the embraces, it's really like nothing else. And just getting to connect with people in this way while sharing my own passion is really something special. Yeah.
And let's see, Support a Superhero was asking if are the pieces signed, and do they come with a COA? I mean, I don't know what you normally do with the COAs, Jiggy, but I think all the artworks that I've seen. Yeah.
Here's the thing with it's a funny story with signed. I told Davi, don't forget to sign your art, and same with the other members of the team. I receive art from the mail, and it's not signed. Why isn't this signed? You got to sign it. So yeah, Davi knows to sign everything from now on. Yes.
Yeah.
With the COA, we've had requests, but we can start issuing COAs if you'd like that. Support a superhero.
Yeah, I think everybody treats things differently, right? I mean, Neil Adams, everything comes out that he ships out has some form of a COA. I think it almost always has. He's always kind of worked that way, but most creators don't, and most reps I don't think are. It's not very common to have a COA. If you're buying from a rep who you're getting the original, that kind of sets the provenance on the artwork from the get-go, because that's the buying from a rep is really the best place if you want to buy. The first time an artwork is selling, that's how you guarantee that you're getting the real McCoy.
The actual. Yep.
If you're buying it off eBay, you don't know who you're buying it from, and you can get a lot of fakes there. But buying from an artist rep is really the place where most trusted business is going to occur as far as that goes. So let's why don't we look at the I'll see the next one over here. Nice Harley and Ivy image here.
You've done Harley and Ivy several times, Davi, huh?
I really have. They're a great combo, a great couple, and people love them. People really, really love them, and I love drawing them. In particular, I really enjoy drawing Poison Ivy because she's just a supermodel. She's just fabulous. This earth goddess, this mother nature, wearing just leaves and a bit of hope and just long red hair. And she's just glamour and everything I love about depicting femininity. And this one actually belongs to one of my favorite collectors, Brian Burns. I think he
He's
might
here
still
right now, and
Oh,
he says that's probably my fault.
Yeah, he's a super fan of Harley and Ivy and of them together. And I've done quite a few pieces for him of these two ladies.
Brian is the number one like Gotham Girls fan I know. Like anything to do with a female character from Gotham City, yeah, Brian's gonna get on that.
Absolutely.
well, that's great. That is, it's a great image, and great use of color again on both characters. Very, and the purple in the background really helps things pop. And it's a lovely image. And Brian, hey Chuck, well, this one's not for sale, Chuck. These ones, when it looks like a regular slide, it will have the price on it and all that. This one is actually just a. We're kind of gonna. If people didn't see the Manic show, what we did on that show was we were showing artwork and talking about it as part of just kind of talking about Davi and his career and his method for working and everything. And then we interjected pieces for sale throughout it, so that we didn't force everybody to wait until the end of the show to see the sale. Kind of like what we did with the Howard Chaykin show a few weeks back. That's kind of we've mixed things up when we do things on Monday nights. I guess is the way we should state that up front. But yes, that is Mr. Rejak says, love that Harley protecting the woman that she loves. That's a good one. Yeah, and Jeff has got it right. The two last pieces were not for sale. But I mean, if people find that confusing, I'm always happy to switch things up and talk about the art first and do the sales last if it works. But I think I kind of like doing it the way we did the first show, Jiggy. So I'm gonna stick with that.
Same.
Yeah. So we've shown the two pieces that aren't for sale, so we can show another piece that is available. And let me get the second lot up here and on the screen. So this is lot 2. This is, of course, Wonder Woman on the same size paper, colored pencil again, and this is $300. And I think this was one that was on the site as well. But
this was on the site as well.
Yep, this one's marked down.
Davi wanted to mark everything down for the ones watching tonight. So this is a beautiful piece.
No, I love the her face is exceptional. Yeah, and as Jill Loudon said, lovely. Jill knows her Wonder Woman artwork, so I can agree that she wouldn't say lovely if she didn't feel that way. But yeah, just a great image, and very powerful representation of Wonder Woman in here. And I think it's fantastic. So this was so I take it, Davi, in your free time, you put work together that you just send off to Jiggy as kind of commission pieces. These might be like a piece that was a study that you would have done, that you decided to make into a commission to send to Jiggy to put out there for you. Is that do you do a lot of work like this in between gigs as well when you don't have commissions going on or published work?
Oh, I wish I could. I really wish I had more time in between work to just work on kind of what I wanted. But that's not usually the case. This one in particular, funny story, was actually turned down by the customer. This was supposed to be for a commission, but the customer was not quite feeling it, just wasn't quite the right vibe. I was like, okay, no problem, we'll try again. And I'm like, this is super cool. I still love it. And so I think somebody should have it. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm really proud of what I did with it. I love what I did with the rocks. This is a piece where I really learned that I love drawing rocks. I love drawing rock formations and mountains and all that stuff. So it was fun to experiment with that and with a more kind of kinetic, kind of, let's say, explosive type of composition. And so I love this one. It's really special.
Well, that's one collector's loss will be another collector's gain. So that's too bad. I've not, I guess, I've not been on that end of the business before, but I haven't really heard too often, people turning down a commission after they've agreed to have one done. I guess, to me, that wouldn't be.
Oh, claim. Thank you, Jill.
Yeah, Jill, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jill.
And Jill, congratulations, because from now on with commissions, Davi's not gonna do these like detailed backgrounds, right, Davi? Similar to this one. So congrats on this one, and thank you.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much, Jeff.
No, that's a good pickup, but that doesn't happen too often, though, right? As far as like people backing out. I mean, a lot of times when I talk to collectors and they're maybe a little unhappy with something, it's not that they, they don't back out of a
Yeah.
commission. They just take it, and if they don't like it, so that's too bad. So again, Davi, I mean, that other collector, they just don't know. They don't know a good Wonder Woman when they do. But Jill's handle on CAF has Wonder Woman in the name, Wonder effing Woman, if I'm not mistaken. And so she knows a good Wonder Woman when she sees it. So thank you very much, Jill.
I love
Thank
that.
you, Jill.
I appreciate you, Jill.
So yeah, now that's so you don't feel, so you end up not having a lot of free time if it's not your commission schedule is pretty busy, or your published work schedule is pretty busy. So there isn't a lot of free time to kind of do personal work day to day.
Correct. Yeah. No, I don't get a lot of time to do anything but draw and take a sip of water and then draw some more. And if I'm lucky, I might get to sleep every 2 weeks. But yeah, I do stay pretty busy, which I am endlessly grateful for, to be able to make this a career, to be able to make this. That this is my life blows my mind every single day that I wake up. I never thought that I would be here, certainly not in my 20s. I thought I'd be at this point much later in my life, and I'm very, very fortunate to be doing what I do. And not a day goes by that I don't that I'm not really amazed by that. And so being busy is hard. It's very hard, especially for somebody who's newly discovering that they have ADHD potentially. But busy is good. Busy is life. Busy is being able to sustain myself and achieve the life that I want, or start my way on achieving the life that I want. So I'm just so grateful to be busy.
Oh man, without question. I mean, there's no greater joy in life than doing exactly what you want to be doing, right? I mean, not a lot of people can have that same joy, and so no, it's great to hear it, Davi. I mean, I think that's wonderful. I mean, to be able to wake up and do exactly what you love doing is it is a fortunate position to be in life. So congratulations.
I'm forever grateful.
Brian had a question here, probably because he's thinking of doing another commission piece. Do you know on average how long it takes you to complete a cover, perhaps?
Woo, Brian. So the actual drawing process can take anywhere from, like, especially these days, can take anywhere from 3 to 9 hours, sometimes 10, depending on exactly what I'm doing. Covers would usually be on more the 10, 12-hour side, because once I'm done drawing with pencils, then I have to go into Photoshop usually and touch things up, flesh things out, really fill it out to make it look good on print. Mm-hmm. But the actual process, the creative process, takes quite a bit longer. The ideation process, the research process, the review process where I send sketches and tweak things and fix things, that can be anywhere from days to weeks, depending on exactly what I'm
doing. There you have it. So what would you say on it? Like, well, that's good. I think that answers Brian's question. So Brian, if you want another commission, now you've got a better idea on how long the amount of effort that is put into each work, published or otherwise. Let's see. Let's get another artwork up to view. Yeah. Not for sale. This is from the work that we're checking out of Davi's here. So this is one that I think will appeal to many of the Star Wars fans out there in the audience, of which I know there are many.
Oh, I love Rey.
Yeah, this is really well executed.
Thank you. This one was super cool and super fun to do and super different for me at the time. I had not been doing very many kinetic kind of action scenes at the time. And so this customer specifically wanted that. They wanted them fighting. They wanted something like moving, vibrant, a lot of feeling, a lot of motion. And I'm like, oh, that's scary. That is scary. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm kind of in out of my depth here. But then I thought, let me try it. And so I went into the little Google and I'm like, what movement do I want here? What type of flow do I want? How do I want these people to look? And so for Ray, I was thinking, I looked up, I think, dancers. I think I looked up ballet. I think I looked up sword fighting and martial arts to get references for this. And then I found this one beautiful picture with somebody doing a very similar pose to what she's doing. And I'm like, this is so ridiculous. Who holds a sword like that? Like, what would you be doing to need to be doing this? And so I thought it was so extra, so over the top, so elegant, and so beautiful. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is how I want my things to look. I want it to be over the top. I want it to look ridiculous. I want it to be a bit larger than life. And for Kylo, I wanted him to feel more just like an imposing, looming figure and entity that is not quite a presence in the scene itself, but like just an energy. And so less of movement for him and more of emotion, more rage, more passion. And that also, I added that red underneath his cape. That's not really a part of his costume design in actuality, but I wanted something to pop. I want a flash of danger, of drama, of passion that would just make him pop more than just the full black. And so I did that kind of silky red under cape and put a little bit of conditioner in his hair and made it super shiny. So yeah.
We've actually been talking about hair care a lot on the show a lot. Not for me, but other artworks where we were like there's a lot of product in these characters' hairs. We were looking at a Chewbacca the other day that was just one of the most beautiful Chewbaccas I think has ever been seen on Comic Art Fans, owned by Colin, and it was drawn by Ryan Sook. But it's just perfect. I look at this and it's a similar kind of feel. Just you can't draw hair better than that, and it's very, very, very nice.
Chewbacca with conditioner, Bill?
That's what it looked like. If you if you look up Colin Solon or just do a search on Ryan Sook, is a recently added artwork. Yeah, you'll see it. But it's a pretty decent image. But yeah, we've been talking about hair a lot. But no, I think you nailed it on this one, Davi. I mean, from the like you said, the kinetic, the energy side of it, and just a very dynamic pose. And as a character, she was a very she ended up being a very dynamic fighter at the end of the day. So that's a pose I would expect her to be in. So there you go.
And those facial expressions are like super nice, both of them.
I think Kylo's face there is one of my favorite faces I've ever drawn. Like just the skin, the movement, the folds, the muscle tension, and where the tension lets go at certain points. It's really good. And as far as likenesses go, I'm not like the sharpest on likenesses. I'll never, claim that. I think I did a decent job with him.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of this face. This head.
More than decent.
Solid head.
No, it's really well done. And again, the challenge here is, you're doing it all in color. If this is all pen and ink, black and white, there's different ways to approach it. But where you tend to, you let the colorists take care of that work for you. But on here, you've got to do it all. And I mean, it's wonderful. Again, the fact, because the opportunity that you have is to render things, where you don't have to do everything in shades of gray. And, you get to experiment with using different colors, to fill out the flesh tones and the way the characters are lit by the weapons and everything. So it's fun. I mean, it's a different challenge, and you really are accomplished at mastering it.
I appreciate that.
Let's let's see what do we got here. This is farther. Let's look at another piece of art before we do one more for sale. And yeah, that's
fall in love with this one too. Whoever owns this, jealous.
Yeah,
that's such a classic pose on the character, but man, it's great.
Right. This one, I didn't want to overdo it. I didn't want to try to reinvent the wheel. I just wanted to nail what I felt was this character's energy and what was special about this character and how they get to use their weapon and what their special ability is. Fun fact, I learned that I don't know how to use the bow and arrow with piece because I posted it. It was lovely. Love it. Amazing. somebody pointed out to me that actually the arrow would go on the other side of the bow when using it. So I hope we all learned something from this. I sure did.
I learned something new today.
Yeah, but it's really a special one, and every now and again I go back and I look at it and I'm like, wow, I did that. I did that.
Yeah, no, that's you can quibble about knowing how to hold a bow or not, and my daughters have shot bow a bit, so you know that's something that I've learned, and I learned the hard way because whenever I would practice, I'd do it the wrong way, so I know that, but great, you know, here's a comment from Jeff Moy, artist in his own right, and he said the art should feel like the characters, doesn't necessarily have to be dead on white on with the likeness. You succeeded, and everybody's really loving this image. Yep. And as George said about the arrow, yep, that's definitely
And
right.
same with Brian. I don't know how to use a bow and arrow either.
Right. Hey, as long as you can come close to hitting the target, you're doing all right. But yeah, she's so skilled she could probably use either side of the bow. But
yeah, he's a master, absolutely.
But yeah, this is a great image. Wonderful. You know, you do a great job in the detail on the face. She's, you know, it's a very beautifully drawn image, and again, the pose is great. The everything about it is beautiful.
And also, I take every opportunity I can, or create opportunities to draw motorcycles or any two-wheeled vehicle. I don't know what it is. I'd never ride one in real life, but they are so rewarding to draw. Not at all fun, but rewarding because they're so hard, and the entire engine is exposed half the time. But they're so fun, and so this time I got to draw her little Vespa, her little scooter. Couldn't miss the opportunity. Couldn't. I had to include it somehow, even if it was like flying off in the background. It had to be there. I love drawing them.
That's I think it's one of the first Vespas we've featured on the show, or any piece of artwork that I've shown on here in the last couple of years. So that is a first, definitely. So let's move on to how about the third artwork we have still? And I think we have 6. Jiggy, I thought you said 7 in the chat. But I think it's a total of 6 if I'm not mistaken.
I think because Davi sent the most recent one, makes it 7.
That's why I had to glance over my email just because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss one. But in your email to me the other day, it had 5 pieces in it plus the plus the last one that we're showing, because that's the 6th one.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. That's the way I ordered it.
Sorry, yes, there are 6. I'm sorry. One of the titles of the pieces went on to the next line. So I'm looking at my phone bill. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was getting. Yeah. I actually was worried that I'd missed one. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta make a slide here in between while we're 6. Showing. So
sorry.
No, not a problem. All right, so we're going to show the third artwork that we have available tonight. So this is going to be lot number 3, and let's get this one on the screen. This is in lot number 3. This is Raven, a really beautifully drawn Raven, I might add, and it's $300. This one was on the site as well and discounted as well. So this is on A4, colored pencils again, and you know, again, this is a fantastic image. Clearly one that you put a lot of work into, Davi. So you're not going to tell me that this was a failed commission that got rejected as well, are you?
No, not at all. This one was one of the rare times that I actually did have some time to find. Well, no, I did not have time actually, but I had just been itching for the longest time to draw Raven. She's one of my favorite DC characters. I fell in love with her much like most other people back in her Teen Titans days. And I'm just like, I love this girl. I can't believe I've never drawn her. It has to be done. And I got the idea. The vision just came clear as day. The itch was super strong. I had to scratch it. And I just sat down and put aside a few hours and hammered this one out. And I am very proud of it. If I had the choice, I'd probably keep it for myself. It's truly a special piece. And I love absolutely everything I did here. Like, it's one of those rare times where what I see in my head comes out just about exactly the same way on paper. And I think that's really special. And every point on this that I look at is just so pleasing and so satisfying to me. And I just feel really accomplished looking at this piece.
No, it's lovely, and that's great. I mean, when there's something that you just have to work on, you can put the paid work aside for a little bit, right? And I mean, it's a great feeling. I have to believe.
Right, it really is. Sometimes the itch is just so strong. You have to get it out of your system.
No, what's a I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I think again, the way the way you handle drawing a face, and then I just love the fact that all your characters are, they've got good hair. They're very well rendered, and this is a really cool pose. I mean, I love everything about it. Maybe you should have kept this one, but hopefully it will make its way to a collector one way or
Of all
another.
the faces Davi has done, this is my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I really did enjoy doing her face, especially being that she's basically the color of paper. I had a lot more freedom with her makeup, and I love any opportunity where I can play around with makeup and get to think of, if this character were kind of a real person or in a more like a more vivid rendering or representation of them, how would they appear? What could I make more vibrant about them? What could I push? What could I exaggerate about their features? And I just feel like Raven would have a nice, uh, cool, smoky eye, a nice dark lip, and just a nice contouring and sharp eyebrows and spiky spider lashes. I think she definitely would look like that if she got to do her own makeup in real life. And so this was really fun to execute this face. And her tiny, tiny nose. I wanted to kind of stay true to that from the Teen Titans days as well.
It's great.
Thank you.
It's beautiful, and it's still going to be available. Obviously, lot 1 and 3 are still out there, so it can be picked up anytime. And why don't we look at some art? Because this next image that we show that's not available for sale has probably one of the more striking, facial renderings of all the ones that I've seen tonight when I was prepping for the show. So let me pull this one up on the screen here. Really
Totally
great Medusa
gorgeous.
image. Yeah.
Yeah. Not for sale though.
Not for sale. Sorry, everybody. So now, was this what was this done for?
This was a private collector commission. Also a longtime collector of mine, who's a huge fan of Medusa. He owns a comic book shop in the UK, Close Encounters Comic. One of my favorite clients, Bob, and he's just a huge fan of Medusa, like I mentioned. And we have been waiting to do this one for a long time, and I've been looking forward to it. This is my second time, I think, officially drawing Medusa, and she's one of those opportunities where I really get to just dig my heels in and do what I do best and what I'm the most passionate about. And that's glamour, that's makeup, that's hair, that's high femme, that's high fashion, that's just, all the things that I love most. And this one was heavily inspired by those older Revlon, L'Oreal ads. Like I really wanted
Yeah, I remember those.
turn a page in like Cosmo magazine and you would see this girl selling you shampoo or something. I really wanted that feel. And so that's what I did here. And like a nice, soft, almost natural glam makeup, and just a really commanding and arresting pose and expression here. And I hope I achieved that. I'm really, really proud of this one.
Jeffrey got it right too. Jeffrey was like, that's like a L'Oreal ad piece for hair color or something like that. It's nice.
I was almost tempted for social media to add a little L'Oreal logo on there just for giggles, but I didn't.
Well, I'm sure they were very pleased when they received that, right, Davi?
Oh, he was so happy. Bob was so happy, and I was just so happy with him because I'm like, I did it. I really did it, and I'm really happy that I got to share this with you because I know this character is really special for you, and this piece is really special for me, and it was just an all-around good time for us. A really great day.
So pretty much all the pieces I know that we're showing for sale are done on A4. So typically, even like all your commissions and like this piece here would be done on the same size paper.
Right. I only work on A4 traditionally right now. As you kind of alluded to before, pencils are a madman's medium. I don't know why I haven't made a bigger effort to try other more easy or more what would you say, quick mediums. And so I stick to A4 because it allows me to manage proportions and details and time a lot better. Any larger, any smaller, and either my control and proportions or my time management goes out the window. So I'm like, nah, I have to say kind of right here. Digitally, I play around with size more. This piece specifically, however, um, it's actually smaller. It's about 7.5 by 5 inches, if I'm not mistaken. That was a special request again for my very special customer, Bob from the UK. He wanted something smaller that would just kind of fit into his already small pieces collection. He likes these small portraits. I've done a few other portraits for him. Like I did a Scarlet Witch bust as well at the same size, the same smaller size, and a Vision bust, all of which I'm really, really proud of. Like something about these characters really just brings out, I think, some of the best of my work.
Oh, it's absolutely lovely. And you know, the moment you said that, I remember there was a trend going on there for a few years, and it's probably still out there. People, you know, people creating smaller works and doing gallery shows around smaller works. I think there's something really, you know, I have lots of smaller works on my back, you know, wall.
Oh, yeah.
I do own a lot of published work and commissions on 11 by 17, but there's something about a smaller image in its, you know, being able to hold it in one hand. You know, so I've got some paintings or pieces or just a lot of pencil drawings on the back wall as well. But I love smaller pieces just for that that reason. You know, I think there's just something a little bit, I don't know, more special. And I've always there's like a couple galleries that do small work shows every year that I always check out. I don't not in person but online, just because I just find the artwork to be, you know, the creators have a little bit more freedom in their approach to the pieces, and it's just there's something about it. Of course everybody likes big art, but I think there's something to be said for smaller pieces as well. So it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Bill, I always tell the team members to stick to the sizes you feel comfy with, because that's where the great work will really translate to.
It's true. No, without question. I mean, you know, you figure the work that you do always has to be defined by the job or whatnot, but sometimes I think there's a lot of freedom in working with the way you feel most comfortable. And Davi, like you're saying, like most of the work you do is always on, on the 8.5 by 11, and you explained it perfectly why you do that. I mean, it's any bigger, it would take twice as long. Any smaller, you don't have the same kind of freedom of space and everything. So, I mean, these are things that we don't get to talk about too often as art collectors when we're talking amongst ourselves about the hobby and the medium. But you know, that's why I love getting the chance to talk with creators and their approaches to works like these. So, thank you so much for sharing that, because it makes me think of other things. I mean, it's, you know, we don't always have to have the biggest size commission to have one of the most beautiful images out there. So, so size isn't always the most important thing in art collecting. So, let's see. How about we look at another piece that we have here to look at that is not for sale before we move on to the next one that will be for sale. So here we've got a very great Batwoman image. And I mean, this, you know, to me, this is like, you know, this is cover quality work. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's fantastic. Everything about it is very dynamic. You know, kind of like, even, you know, we can look back to the Wonder Woman piece. You know, you kind of put that energy and flow around it, but here it's a much more passive, you know, kind of image with the leaves and everything. But it's really, really wonderful.
I appreciate that. I think this one, I wanted her to have swagger, kind of. I feel, in my interpretation, I feel like Batwoman is one of those characters who's very laid back, and, well, not laid back in terms of easygoing, in terms of at ease in her skin, very centered in self. And I wanted to really take a stab at showing that this is somebody who has every nerve connected to every skin cell on her body and just knows what she's doing, and she's just casually strutting in as she's swinging the batarang, and just like, she's in control, she knows what she's doing, and you've already lost before the fight has even started. Like, she is absolutely in charge here. And any opportunity I can get to do a flowing cape, blowing in the wind, and just detail those little lines and those little shadows, I will take every chance. And so this was super fun for that reason as well.
So another commission, a successful, happy collector.
Yes, this one was absolutely successful. Absolutely happy.
I can't see why they wouldn't be. I mean, that's a beauty.
Now,
it was this, just out of curiosity, Davi, what's it like for you when you get like high praise after a commission's received? I mean, it's got to make you feel good, and I assume you relay that back to members of the team when you hear positive things from putting commissions out there.
It's really affirming. It's really satisfying. It's just like, I finished something, I'm proud of it. I think it's good. Otherwise I wouldn't share it. I wouldn't share anything I'm not proud of.
Right.
To have somebody receive that, but not only receive that, but oftentimes take it up to the next level, like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is almost life-changing sometimes. And I spoke to this stranger one time who helped me understand, because as a creative person, it's like it's a different world. And they helped me understand that for somebody who's not creative, somebody who's not able to visualize things for themselves, the act of creation, the act of drawing, sculpting, whatever your art form is like a miracle to them. It's really something special to be able to witness somebody bringing life in a new way. And so getting that perspective on it, I'm like, I just thought drawing's cool. It's fun. It's pretty colors. Like I enjoy it. It's very, very special for me, of course. But to understand that it has such like a deep moving effect on people just to simply witness the act of creation is really something special to be able to share with somebody. When I send off a commission, when I post something, and to see people just react in a way that oftentimes I can never even anticipate, to see just the passion that is pushed back to me, it's really special. It's probably my favorite part of doing this for a living. It's just that energy exchange of me showing you something I'm proud of, and you just basking in it, and just sending that love back is really special.
Well, people, both Mikhail and Aranga are sending you ideas. Mikhail said you need to do a cloak and dagger ASAP, and Aranga thinks you would do a killer Mystique, and I would agree with both of them.
I totally agree too. Fun fact, Aranga, Mystique is actually underway.
Wow.
Oh, very cool.
Very excited.
Even Jill saying, commission him, guys. And I'm sure, Jiggy, for you too. I mean, you got to be proud when commissions go out, right? I mean, everybody.
Oh yeah, but
you hear
Davi and I spoke about commissions, but he told me that he needs to finish the remaining ones, and then we can full blast commissions for the group.
Well, that's a good approach.
Aranga's already hating on the.
That's right. Yeah. And Annika mentions a killer
Of
Jane
course,
Foster.
Annika.
Yes.
Who else? Who else would be?
Can't argue with Annika on that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, why don't we get to the fourth artwork for sale then? Here,
I believe this is a published piece, Bill. Correct?
Yes, it is, and it's a cover that that has I think has been on the site, but it has got a reduced price this evening. So let me get lot 4 appearing on the screen. This is the Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target number 2 cover on A4 again. So it's lot 4, and it is priced at $750. And again, this is just a great image. It looks like the arrow's on the right side of the bow this time, so nobody should be complaining about that, right? Hey, I figured I better point it out before anybody else claims that they were able to point that out. But a great image here. So what was kind of the art direction that you got on this one, Davi?
So we had a few ideas when, gosh, I forget the editor's name, but DC reached out about this cover. And at first I was like, what, me drawing Green Arrow and Aquaman? Like, where's the glamour? Where's the fabulousness? I don't know if I'd be able to do them justice. But I thought, let me sketch these out first and see how I feel. And I like taking that approach when I have doubts about an idea that's pitched to me. Let me sketch it first, see what I can do, and then see if it comes to life. And this came to life. We definitely wanted Green Arrow pointing his arrow at the viewer, and we wanted Aquaman just being kind of fishy and watery in the background. Um, and so we definitely took that approach. And this, I am really, really proud of it, especially the way I finished it digitally to make it ready for print. It's a really special piece. Just the colors, just the balance, just the composition, just really well done. And these colors are looking really handsome, if I do say so myself. And again, always with the shampoo, always with the silky smooth hair. Gotta have it. Gotta give Aquaman the nice golden locks.
Yeah.
It's really a special piece.
No, it turned out fantastic, and and I'm not even a big DC guy, but I love the image here as well. So this is great, and they are. I mean, you've made them look marvelous and strong at the same time. I love Green Arrow's pupils on that one. It's like, they, when I first looked at it, I thought I couldn't see him, and then I'm like, nah, he's definitely got his eye on the target, and I like that, staring directly at me like that. That's beautiful.
I appreciate that. I definitely wanted him to have a very focused, very challenging stare, and also kind of subtle. I wanted them to be kind of mysterious and darker. And so you're barely seeing his eyes, but when you do see them, you're watched, that you're next. I was also absolutely terrified to draw the water on this one. Water is one of those things that, for one reason or the other, I don't draw very often. It's just not usually something that I need to draw, like not even avoiding it. It just doesn't happen. And so I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to do it justice, but I think I did a decent job for like one of my very few attempts at water. I think I did all right.
I think you did all right. I definitely would not say you did it wrong. No, this is great. It really is. You did a great job on water. And you're right. It's something that you could easily kind of do it in a simpler fashion, but you tackled it in a way that shows the light going through it and everything. I mean, I think you didn't back down from that challenge.
I appreciate that.
And both
Davi
beards.
nailed the water, but the hair, like Davi consistently draws hair perfectly. I have to say,
that is so sweet. I'm really passionate about hair. It's one of those elements of any composition where I really get to play around with movement and shape and glamour and beauty. And even if it's not always apparent, like I always try to put a little bit of glamour in everything that I do, because I love fashion and weird artsy types of expressions. And so any opportunity I can find or create to do that, I do. And so hair usually is one of those easy opportunities to make something just have a different motion. I could draw somebody just standing perfectly still, but if their hair has the right movement, the right shape, the right amount of strands flying away, the right light hitting the right places, it just takes a piece to the next level with just hair alone. It's a great, almost kind of a hack in terms of achieving the right composition. Like if you don't have anything else, you can use hair as a part of a composition and really just take a piece to the next level.
Well done. So let's look at two more pieces not for sale.
Yep.
Just to upset everybody out in the audience once more. Sorry, but here's MJ and Gwen.
This is my favorite from what Davi, like. I hope this isn't the commission, Davi. Like, and he goes, "Sorry, it is." Like, no, this piece is just amazing.
Thank you. I am really proud of it, and it just gives me good vibes.
Yes, that's the word. That's the thing. It gives you great vibes.
Right? Like I wanted you to look at this and feel like dancing, feel like you are dancing, feel like you're watching these two friends at a party, just having the best time without a care in the world. And I really wanted to make it clear that these are two friends. They are connected. They are in sync, and they're just happy, young, beautiful girls being happy, young, and beautiful, and nothing else. I wanted to feel very simple, but kind of very poignant, like almost I wanted it to feel almost like a vintage photo without the filter, if you could say so. And I definitely did that in terms of my approach to their style. I took inspiration from more 60s mod fashion for Gwen, and I pushed MJ into the 70s with her bell bottoms and platforms and long, bone straight, silky hair. And I just wanted to just have a good time. And I kind of also, it was really important for me, um, as these are, you know, Spider-Man's girlfriends at one point or another. I wanted them, you all obviously have to know that they're Spider-Man's girlfriends, because otherwise their character designs, they could be any young women, you know what I mean?
Yep.
If you don't draw them with the right signifiers, they could be anybody. But at the
And
same time,
headband, yeah.
right, at the same time, it had to be clear that these are Spider-Man's love interests, but I wanted them to be their own people in this moment, existing outside of Spider-Man, existing outside of a tether to him, and just having a good time, just being young and happy and free, and not needing to be defined by their romantic connection to Spider-Man in this moment.
So Dylan wanted to know if this was yours, Jiggy. I'm assuming
No,
it was not
I
your
just
commission.
replied. It's unfortunately it's not mine.
Oh, there. Yeah, no, it's a great image, Davi. It really is. It's you know, and I love the way you work with the colored pencils too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it almost doesn't feel like colored pencils. It almost feels like it has a chalky kind of feel to it. And I noticed it on a few of the other pieces as well. Just the way you approach it. I mean, I don't know how you're achieving that. Whether it's, you know, we don't need to talk technical side of you know, how you're drawing, but I see that, you know, in a lot of the pieces that you have, and I like that. You know, it's not straight up, you know, a colored pencil illustration. There's different techniques that you're putting into the work just to kind of give it a different depth and a different feel. And it's really, you know, it's just well rendered is what I would say. It's just beautiful. It's something that I would expect that you'd want, you know, I'd see in like a really good like charcoal drawing, right? But it's not. You're achieving it through color and through graphite, and it's lovely. I just had a comment on that. I see, because especially in the faces on this one, you can just see it around the eyes, around the cheekbones, and the neck. It's just you know, it's a very unique approach. It's definitely you. And you know, I did check CAF earlier this week just to see how, or at the end of the weekend, and saw that, you know, you have like 40 or so commissions that are out there that are shared on CAF. So that's good, and a lot of them have that same kind of feel. So I want to commend you on that. That's definitely a style that you've mastered, and it's very you.
Thank you. I don't know if I should take too much credit for it though, because it just happens.
That's good when it works like that.
Right. Yeah, and I'm really lucky that it happens that way. People really enjoy the texture. That is also actually a huge factor in why I kind of stick to pencil. It just sells. People love the texture. I'm like, I don't necessarily get it myself. They absolutely love it. They want to see the grit. They want to see the tooth of the paper. They want to see all of that. And so I'm lucky in that way that it just happens naturally. I put the pencil to the paper, and it's a mix between the texture of the pencil and the paper, and me not being patient enough to do like the hyper realistic, super smooth render that you can get out of pencils. Like, I don't do what they call brandishing, which is you like go over after you've colored something, you go over it with maybe something lighter, maybe a white, to smooth out the texture. I don't do that. I let it hang as it is, because specifically people really enjoy it.
Well, it's a great approach, without question. I love it.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's look at one more artwork here that's not for sale, and then we'll look at lot number 5. Great detail on this one. Wow.
Thank you.
Davi, was it for Comic Tom?
Yes, this was a Comic Tom exclusive. Longtime collaborator. He was actually the my first official Marvel cover. That Magic cover was a request by him. And this one, I swear, every time Tom reaches out to do a cover, it's like a new challenge. And it takes me a moment to be like, wait, can I do this? Like, are you sure? Like, are we seeing the same thing here? Are you aware of what I do? Like, are you asking the right person? Almost like it's scary and it's daunting. And this was one of those times where I was like, Tom, I'm sorry. In my head, I was like, Tom, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna have to pass. But again, I did my usual approach. Let me sketch it first. Let me try it. Let me see how this pencil feels on this paper with this idea. And I tried it out, and it just turned out so dope. Like, this is just some of my best work. Like, really, if somebody said I peaked here, I wouldn't disagree. Like, this is just some next level stuff. A different approach to backgrounds that I normally do. Like, you don't really see me drawing buildings. Not that I have anything
Yeah.
against it. I just don't normally have the opportunity, because I don't do interiors currently. And so I got to draw a building, and I'm like, I'm going to take this opportunity to show if I can do this. And I enjoy doing buildings and enjoy doing a more like fully realized background in a sense, and getting to play with something that's kind of so in depth and complex, and still take my approach to simplifying it and flattening it in an interesting way. It was really fun to play around with.
People should know that Boom doesn't really award retailers with artists for something is killing the children. Like, they're very selective of the artists. So Davi, like, you did it. Like, you were approved, and the work speaks for itself.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh gosh, I'm blushing. Wow. Oh, that's so sweet to hear. That's really special, because I'm really so proud. And I don't remember the character's name, but the fella in the background, just one of the best faces I've ever done. He is so handsome and so sharp and so well rendered, and his eyes and his cane is just beautiful, and I'm really, really, really proud of him in particular.
Yeah, and this is I love the orange on top of the purple. As far as in the facial colors, it just everything pops really well with this. And with this, I mean, I love that approach, and you nailed it as far as like getting putting the background in there and showing that you can do the architecture. So it's good. It's good when you get a challenge like that. It clearly they see something that they think you can push yourself to as well. I'm sure they don't think this is going to be an easy task for you, So it's nice to have somebody who wants to kind of like test your limits and see what you're capable of doing, and then you figure what's the next thing. It'll be even harder, more challenging, and probably more just as more rewarding when you complete it. So this is great.
I totally agree. Thank you so much.
I was seeing somebody in the chat wanted to send me an image. Unfortunately, I'm not on the computer that I would be able to get emails from. You could always text me through Facebook, I guess, and maybe I could get it up on the screen. But if it was on CAF, I could share it real easily, since I've got CAF open in the background of here. But yeah, that would be.
Mr. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly, forgive me if I'm not. I've had so much fun working on your pieces. You have really great taste, I must say.
But yeah, if you post it on CAF and give me a link, I will definitely be able to pull it, and we could show it tonight without question. Love to do it. Like Marcus said, post it now. Marcus will be the first one to put a comment on it if you do that. So we'll all be anxiously awaiting the recently updated galleries. So yeah, go ahead and do that, and I'll definitely show up for the end of the show tonight. Be happy to do that. I love getting stuff from the audience like that. But unfortunately my email machine is over there. So yeah, put it on CAF and we'll share it tonight. But all right, well, that's great story on that one, Davi. I mean, I think it's those times when we're most concerned about the work that we're about to approach. So usually the better things become. It gives you some strength. So you stretched yourself a bit on this one, and it came out fantastic.
Thank you so much.
So we have 2 more lots, Bill.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Another. This is another cover, and I think we've seen this one before, but the price
Yeah,
is lowered on this one as well. So this is lot number 5. This
you're
is
getting an
the
X-Men cover
the cover to
for
Inferno
under
4.
1,000.
Yep, $900. And yeah, and we were just talking about the treatment of the face with the color and the pencil. I mean, this is this is exactly what I was talking about from the Gwen image. I mean, just it's I love the way you've rendered it. It's not necessarily the way I think you normally get to see it. Certainly when things are we're seeing so many things digitally colored these days. Seeing work like this is very refreshing, to be quite honest. And again, you're right. It's an X-Men cover as well, under 1,000. So
You get 6 characters.
you don't. I mean, again, this is great. So on this one, Davi, what was the the direction on this one? I mean, is it how many roughs did you go through before you settled on something like this?
This one actually only took 2 sketches for approval. I sent off 2, and they chose this one. The directive was we had 2 ideas. I was given 2 ideas, I would say. One was she'd be like in her little orb room. Don't remember the name, her dominion, something like that, whatever it's called. She'd be in that little orb space, and it would be on fire, and she'd just be looking kind of like kind of plotting and sinister in that space. She'd be looking sinister either way, but that would be that idea. And we tried that, and it looked cool. But then we did this, and we wanted her to just kind of have the members of the council trapped and under her spell and under her control, and looking kind of a little lost and scared and helpless, trapped inside this orb and just like absolutely at her mercy. And so we went with this one, and it felt like really powerful and really engaging, and it really just captured the vibe of what I think the story is really all about for this particular run. And so this one was a fun challenge for me, in that the full image that it ended up being with the red background and the fire in the background, that's all done digitally, of course, as well as the coloring of the globe. I got to play around with I like to play around with flattening different parts of a composition using color and using filters and layers and things like that. And this was a great opportunity to do that, because there's just so much to play with, so many characters, and just so many different things that I could either highlight or push back. It was just like almost, I felt like a kid in a candy store almost, being able to just decide which elements I wanted you to see the most and what really was important to display here. Really a good time on this one.
No, I can tell you had you really enjoyed it. I mean, I could tell just from the attention to the detail on her face, and the just everything about it. I could and what I mean. If I was in your shoes, and I'm an X-Men fan, so just the idea that you could actually get to work on X characters and do a book cover like that's pretty darn. That would be exciting. That'd be the my proudest moment.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah,
no idea.
I can only imagine.
Sorry to interrupt, but the X-Men are my very favorite. Like, as far as superheroes go, and as far as Marvel, as far as DC. If I had a gun to my head and I had to choose just like one team, one group, one set of stories, X-Men by far every single time. I enjoy doing comics and working in the comics world, but I'm not like the biggest superhero fan. I'm not a comic book geek at all. Like, I don't keep up with every issue. I don't know every story, and half the time the characters that I'm drawing for my customers, for my clients, I don't even know who they are until I actually start drawing them. And so X-Men is really special in that way for me, because they actually get me in the feels. Like, I just connect to these characters. I connect to their story. I connect to their world and to their journey. And they just feel like people and real and fleshed out. And they just have so much heart for me personally. where not every other superhero type of dynamic does. It just is so special. I'm a huge X-Men fan, and so I was just over the moon to be able to do an X-Men cover, like truly special for me.
Wow. Well, then it is a crowning achievement then, for you. I think that's fantastic. And I saw Jason threw an offer out there. Typically, Jason, on these shows, we don't do the offers during it. We kind of stick with the claims and try to sell them at the asking price. Certainly, you've got Jiggy's contact information. So if the artwork didn't sell by the end of the night, it's something that I would address directly with Jiggy, and I'm sure he and Davi would talk about it. But yeah, that's how we tend to approach these shows. It's not like Dueling Dealers where you can throw offers out. But definitely, you've got their email. Contact them, and they'll let you know what they think. Maybe work something out offline, and that's perfectly good too. And I just saw, I checked out the artwork that Kahiwat has posted. Unfortunately, I can't show it because it's not work safe, but it's phenomenal. So anybody who's on CAF and anyone who's on CAF and is logged in, so you can get to a not work safe image, you should check it out because it is it's beautiful. I've just kind of refrained from showing even though it's just topless, it's very tasteful, but it's definitely really nice, and I can see why you're super duper proud of it because I'm looking at it right now. It's phenomenal. Faces, everything I was talking about, maybe even more so in those two images. So yeah, wow. And that's okay, Jason. No worries.
Jason sent me an email.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the way we've just with these shows, everything's at a fixed price. We don't like no haggling on it. Well, we've got the artist right here. We're not haggling. We're just having fun looking at the artwork. So let's see here. So we showed that one. So we've got one more artwork to show that isn't for sale, and then one final piece to show that is. And the final piece that is was done specially for tonight too. So why don't we look at the last image that we have that isn't for sale? Really great red Sony image here. This is I love so in many of the earlier pieces the background that you had was it's more used for lighter color and helps accentuate. This is this one's just nice because it's dark, it's confident, and it's full of skulls too. So it really and it's the blood splatters, everything about it. Just it's the figures in it, definitely Davi, but there's something you were doing something experimental here with this really rich dark background. I think on this particular image, I love it.
Thank you.
We got a claim on 5, Bill.
I must have missed that, Rich. Where did that happen?
Steven, I didn't see that also.
I guess I was too busy talking and I didn't see it. It's Rich, actually. Rich Donnelly. Where?
Yeah.
I'm scrolling up through the chat. I guess I never saw it. I apologize. I don't see it.
I'm trying to find it also.
But I believe you because I see he said, "Did you get claim 5 at 10:21?" And it was Rich, but I don't see the claim before it at all. But I guess you've claimed it. That's great. No, Rich, that's fantastic. And I apologize. I just scrolled all the way through it. I don't see it. So maybe somehow it didn't make its way into our chat. But usually if somebody else would have seen it, they would have said, "Hey, Rich claimed it."
Yeah, I didn't see it also. Sorry.
Yeah, but no.
Email.
Oh, did he email you? No, well, either way, Rich's claim. He sent an email. Well, okay. Hey, we worked it out.
Yes.
Rich's claim lot 5. So, all right. So that took us off. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Rich.
Yeah, it was sent by email. Sorry. I'm obviously looking at the screen. Sorry, Rich. My bad. Yeah, congratulations on that one. And thank you very much.
No problem. And Rich, I probably should have restated it a couple of times because, sometimes we do these by email. But with the ones that we've done with Jiggy, we've done them all by email. So no worries. That's great. Perfect. Thank you. So back to this image. Tell me a bit about this one and the choice for the skulls and the really dark blood color.
Right. So firstly, I hope that when I die, somebody can memorialize me as confident and full of skulls. I love that one. This one, an absolute blast to work on. Absolute blast. I think this was also a retailer exclusive. I might be wrong. Either way, any opportunity to draw a fierce warrior woman who is also glamorous and strong and sexy and powerful and beautiful and everything, these impossible things at once, like I will always jump at it. And Red Sonja is just one of the best examples of just this fantasy woman who is just everything at once. And so she's really fun to draw. I love her design. It's always fun to experiment with different ways of representing her chainmail and her barely there armor. Is always fun to see. Do we give her rib protection today? Nah, she's good. And so it's always fun to draw her. I've done her a few times, and this was my first and I think my only cover of her so far. For that special background, that was fun. The traditional piece looks a bit different. The red is more a lighter red, but I definitely wanted it to look like wet, inky, almost spoiled blood, wet on the battlefield, like somebody's head is chopped off right beside it, kind of almost gory, but then take it to that place of poetry and beauty, and again back to kind of glamour and that type of pretty frilly type of stuff that I like to explore. And I also wanted to have a bit more depth, not just in color, but with a bit more of imagery, more of would I say iconography, maybe, whatever. So I opted for the skulls in the background. Some of them you can barely see it with all the filtering that's being done. But some of them are cracked. There's an arrow through somebody's head over there, poor guy. And just all these dead people in the blood. Like the blood wasn't enough. Like we really want you to know here that these are dead people. That is somebody's blood. And Sonja did it because she's that good. Yeah, so this one was super fun, super fun, and so proud of it to this day. Just so fierce, so glamorous, so strong. And again, never leaving out the shampoo. Her hairstylist stays paid.
Davi,
Yeah.
the hair, like no, I can honestly say now that no one draws better hair than you. There's so much research and work put on hair. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, hair is so much fun. So I really appreciate that you can see the passion I have for using hair as a tool of beauty.
It's a great image, wonderful. I mean, probably one of my favorite pieces. Red Sonja is always a classic character to play around with, but this is great. I mean, and since you're using colored pencils and graphite, it gives you a lot more real control over those blood splatters and how faint some of them are. I mean, it's a striking image, from head to toe.
Thank you so much. And with the blood as well, I may have mentioned already, it went through quite a few filters to achieve that type of, I don't know, almost inky effect, almost iridescent effect. Photoshop really helped me out on that one, taking it to that just next level of depth and dimension.
Just trying to read all the comments.
Davi, one of your clients who got a piece from Next Comic Art, Grant Cruz is here. He got the Joker.
Oh, that was
puzzle box. Yeah, puzzle box. Grant, did you post it on CAF? Hope you did.
And Kyle Blackwell says, I think I picked up your first Marvel cover, the Valkyrie Danny Moonstar, also with beautiful hair on her and her horse.
Oh, Kyle has that.
Thank you, Kyle. That was not my first Marvel cover, but definitely one of my best ones. That was a blast to draw.
So for the record, Davi, the first Marvel cover was Magic for Comic Tom, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Well, we've got one more piece of art we've got for sale
and this
here.
Is fresh, super fresh.
I can attest to that. Davi had to send me the scan himself. So let's close out this window here, and we get the final artwork that we've got available tonight. And here we go. This is lot number 6. It's $350, and
this is just great.
No, it's a wonderful Catwoman, rendering, and of course, it's got ties to the upcoming Batman movie, so it's on topic and
Mark.
absolutely
Mark,
beautiful.
Mark claims 6.
Just before the Dead Sams, yes.
Yeah. Congratulations, Mark.
Yeah, wow. I didn't think that one was going to last. So that's
yeah. This is Davi was telling me, yeah, I'm gonna make a Catwoman, and then I was like, what if you do the Zoe Kravitz from the new movie? And then, yeah, Davi went to town with this one, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you inspired me to do the Catwoman, Jiggy, because like I said, I stay away from likenesses because I never know what I'm gonna get. It's not one of my strong suits. I don't play around there. But this one I was like, she just looks so cool. Zoe Kravitz is so stunning, like just if I were to start all over and I was a creator of Catwoman, she'd be the type of face I would have thought of as a Catwoman face. She's so sharp, so heart shaped and feminine and just round in all the most pleasing places and sharp in all the most pleasing places. Like she has a stunning face. I do wish that maybe I got to show it off more, but I had to play it safe, had to hide something. So, you know, but like I just was so excited when I saw that she was cast. I'm like, she is going to look so amazing. And then we saw the first trailer and the first images, and I was just absolutely losing my mind when I saw those first like glimpses of what this movie is about to be. And you can get the sense sometimes when something's about to be great. I really do think, and I hope they prove me right, that this may be one of the best DC movies in recent history when it comes out. It just has that epic vibe that I also got Christopher Nolan series. Like it just has that special air to it. And I just feel like if it isn't great, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'd be so disappointed. Because the visuals are great, the designs are great, the atmosphere is great. Like it just feels so special. And I just had to capture this moment. I had to do it. I had to give a go at the Zoe Kravitz Catwoman. I really appreciate their approach to her design. I noticed that every time they do a new Catwoman, they do everything in their power not to give her cat ears or real cat ears. They try to make it seem practical or give it a real world reasoning these days, which I understand, people want different things from superheroes these days. And so like I really appreciate this approach to her cat ears, giving her balaclava and giving her that more like organic kind of gritty Street Fighter feel. We're getting like a more like, maybe I get the sense she might be like a younger, just starting out Catwoman with this type of look, because it feels like she threw this outfit together and you can see that there's a bit of a wear and tear to it on the shoulder in some of the images that have been released. And I'm really curious to see what her journey is going to be, what her story is going to be. And I really am a huge fan of that balaclava. I'm not even gonna lie, like it's a super creative approach to the cat ears and subtle and refreshing. And so I had so much fun doing this, so much fun. I love Robert Pattinson's more angular Batman. His helmet is like has a lot more sharper edges. His costume, his like bodice does as well. And so it was just different, a different design approach. His car is even more angular than usual. And that the whole movie has that same kind of ethos going through it in terms of its design, language, and it really excited me to see, and really excited me to have an opportunity to try it out. And I'm really proud of this.
I want to point out, Davi, that there's no hair in this artwork as well.
You're right.
On either character, you didn't need the hair to make the characters beautiful. So I'm surprised not one person. I thought for sure I'm waiting for somebody in the chat to say something, and not one person did. So
everyone's just mesmerized by the light.
I know they are. Yeah. It's absolutely beautiful. But I didn't think about it either until like the last minute. I was like, wow,
and we got another
claim. It worked. Oh, I wasn't seeing. That's what I get for not paying attention again.
So Davi, the Raven is going to a good home.
Oh, thank you so much, Mark. Oh my goodness, I'm
Oh,
so happy to hear that.
yeah, fantastic, Mark. Thank you so much. So that's
Um,
one less one we got to show here in the recap. But we can show the other. There's only two artworks didn't sell tonight, and I'm just going to show that on the screen again. We want you to email Jiggy this evening or this morning for him at nextcomicart@gmail.com.
I'm trying to think.
Make sure he knows which artworks you picked up. Get him your mailing address now. Don't wait until the invoice is sent and everything. So eyebrows or hair. Thank you, Marcus. You are, yeah. See, Marcus is the guy that keeps us sharp around here. So, but it's a great one. I knew that one wasn't going to last, Davi. That was a really wonderful rendition. I mean, of the character, I loved it. So, all right. Well, why don't we just remind everybody which two pieces are still available, because one was done specifically for tonight as well. And so
Yeah,
that
this
was
is a new piece.
yeah, this is lot number one. I mean, it's again, it's on A4 like all the rest. It's $300. So it's if you don't pick it up tonight, it will probably be on the website sometime in the near future. So we'd appreciate if you pick it up tonight. But if not, you'll
Come
know
on,
where to get
Final
it.
Fantasy fans.
But yeah, no, a great image. And again, I really do like the treatment in the background on this one too, Davi. I mean, using doing the character back there. I like everything about it. The composition's great. It's really, really nice take on the character as well. So hats off to somebody who ends up getting it, even if they don't get it tonight.
Jeffrey, thank you. Claiming lot one.
Oh, Jeff Moy, man, thank you, Jeff. Jeff, Jeff has a good eye. So thank you very much for doing that, Jeff. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff.
So let's see here. So the only piece that didn't sell then was lot 4.
It's a L'Oreal ad, or maybe I'm just kidding.
That's right. You're not going to find two finer drawn beards on a comic cover on two characters like this one here. So, but no, it's fantastic, and it's definitely a good price for this evening. It's definitely it's a little bit reduced for this evening show. So again, this is out there, and if you can claim it tonight, or you can always shoot these guys an email tomorrow if you can't. If somebody, because the thing is, we always have to remember this, Jiggy. A lot of Europeans aren't staying up till 4 a.m. to watch these shows, so they might see this tomorrow and realize it's the only one that's out there. So if anybody's watching the show after the fact, certainly within the the first 24 hours, I'd say Jiggy would probably honor it, but just email him, let him know that you saw it on the show here, and he will take care of you. So hopefully that one moves as well. It's a great image, and it's a cover, published cover. You don't get covers under $1,000.
It's a regular variant cover also.
Not too often these days, right? No. So Jiggy, I've had to ask, because I've been wondering all night, what's behind you? Because usually there's like
I'm in the dining room. This is a door to the living room. Sorry.
No, it's been throwing me off since the beginning of the show, and I had to ask before we turn the cameras off. But yeah, no, Jeff. Well, I'm glad, and that's a lot of times when we do these shows. I know people take notes, and so Jeff said that he wanted to see everything before he made a choice. So that's great. I love it. That's the way to go. So Davi, this has been a lot of fun talking with you. I really appreciate that you took the time. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely. What would be fun, Davi? Do it again in a year. See where how much things have changed in 1 year's time. Maybe you'll have a con that you've been able to visit in that time. That would be pretty cool. But I'd love to do that. I think it would be great to, especially as you're young and you're really, even though you've been working for the last couple of years with publishers, you're still really getting started. So yeah, I'd love to have you back on if you'd be up for it. That'd be fun. I'm sure Jiggy and I can work that out and talk again in a year and see where things are at and do this again. It'd be fun.
I think that would be amazing. I'd absolutely love it.
All right.
Bill, maybe we can say that we have more of these creator spotlights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we do. Now, I mean, have we firmed up dates on the other ones that we've got? I mean, I think we picked
2 weeks. He said yes already to that. Yeah. Can we announce that? Can we?
Yeah. Go ahead. Because
who will feature next? A clue. He was very engaging in the last like a Comic Art Live YouTube channel. Like, he stole the show in the comment section. So we'll have him on the show next time.
Well, I actually was mentioning it, but I had put a question mark by it once because on my Thursday show. So some people probably already know. So we could just tell them because it's Amigo Swayan will be on the show in 2 weeks, and so Aranga pays attention to my Thursday show. So that show will be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to doing that. And I know that we've talked about trying to set up a really special show in March. I mean, we definitely should try to firm up a date for that. But and I've kind of only hinted that on the CAF update, so we don't have to tease that. But March could have a really special show.
Yeah, that'll be really special
with more than one of the team on that broadcast. So that'll be a good show if we can work that out. And I'm looking forward to it as well. But Davi, this has been a lot of fun, man. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun meeting you and getting to know more, about your approach to your work. Again, it's really unique. We don't see a lot of people working in the style that you're doing and the approach with the medium. So I love it. I appreciate it a great deal. And, I love your work and I can't wait to see more from you.
Thank you so much.
Davi, because he was very nervous. So Davi, I just wanted to give you props for coming out and attending the show for all your fans. So, and thank you to everyone who joined. Like, Davi's here for everyone.
That's true. Dylan Chitty mentioned this earlier too. He said Jiggy.
We'll go to this. We'll bring Davi somewhere first. But Dylan, I think Asia would be the most doable for us at the moment.
That's probably true. But again, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This has been a lot of fun. And as you've already can see, we're going to be doing a lot of these shows with Jiggy in the future, monthly. A couple weeks we're doing another one. So this is the direction we hope to take the channel in the next 12 months. More creator interviews and opportunities to buy art direct and just and learn more about them. You're not going to be able to get in front of Davi Go at a con and get to talk to him while you're buying your art. This is better. This is the best opportunity you have. And I think that I think we've seen over the last couple of years that these opportunities are just as special as getting to do that. I mean, we want to get in front of our favorite artists again, but while we all can't do that. And I think that doing these shows is a really good opportunity to get to know the creators that we love and to be able to pick up art directly from them. And so again, thank you so much for everybody tuning in, and I appreciate it. And I'll see you again tomorrow night. But again, Davi, Jiggy, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.